Conservative commentator Scott Jennings strongly defended Dan Bongino's appointment as deputy FBI director during a heated exchange on CNN's Newsnight on February 24, 2025. The debate quickly escalated as panelist Tara Setmayer and other guests questioned Bongino's qualifications, arguing that his law enforcement background did not necessarily make him fit to manage a large federal agency.
But if I may address one issue. You just denigrated Bongino's law enforcement credentials. He was a cop and a Secret Service agent. You denigrated his academic credentials. He has a master's degree.
Just because he was a police officer doesn't make him qualified to run a 38,000 person, $11 billion budget agency, just like Pete Pegg said.
But you know what does? Because he
National Guardsman or
because he enjoys the competence and the pleasure of the president. And
I'm sorry that
you are not yet over the outcome of the election.
No, look at what's happening to our country, and I'll never be over it, Scott. This is dismantling our democracy in front of our eyes, and you guys are okay with it.
You had a city that was smaller than the amount of people that live on this block, and he was the Secretary of Transportation. You had the guy who was stealing luggage. I mean, I think anyone who's defending the Biden administration.
But this is the FBI.
So,
correct.
And this is someone who was a transportation secretary in law enforcement for many years.
Does Dan Bongino have the qualifications to be the second person in charge of the FBI?
Yes, he has law enforcement, he has academic, and again, let me just stress this. I've mentioned
so when
this before.
You stack up
they serve at the pleasure of the president. That's the political appointment.
I know that is the answer to every question, is that Donald Trump wants it, so therefore it is good.
For political appointments, yes.
When we look at, we're talking about people who are qualified and not, and you look at his resume and compare it to Republican and Democrat nominees for that same position, is he qualified?
I mean, first of all, I'm not sure all the people that have been appointed in the past have covered themselves in glory. And some of them have done a terrible job and gotten in lots of trouble.
Look,
and this is a reform minded administration. They got outsiders.
Setmayer dismissed Bongino's experience as a former police officer and Secret Service agent, stating, "Just because he's a police officer doesn't make him qualify to run a 38,000-person, $11 billion budget agency." Jennings fired back, "You just denigrated Bongino's law enforcement credentials. He was a cop and a Secret Service agent. You denigrated his academic credentials. He has a master's degree." The debate intensified as Setmayer attacked President Trump's decision-making, calling it terrible and god-awful. Jennings countered with a sharp response, "I'm sorry that you are not yet over the outcome of the election." Setmayer insisted that the appointment was part of a broader threat to democracy, stating, "This is dismantling our democracy in front of our eyes." CNN host Abby Phillip pressed Jennings on whether Bongino's credentials were comparable to past nominees for the role. Jennings responded, "First of all, I'm not sure all the people that have been appointed in the past have covered themselves in glory. Some of them have done a terrible job and gotten in lots of trouble." He reiterated that Bongino, like all political appointees, serves at the pleasure of the president. The exchange highlighted the sharp political divide over Trump's appointments, with Jennings positioning Bongino as a seasoned law enforcement professional facing partisan attacks, while critics framed the decision as another example of the administration's controversial personnel choices.